1051.
Now, you've had a lot of female people that were surrounded by you.
Yeah, now 50 is always a little bit elusive about what it is that he has going on with the ladies. You know, you hear things like, remember he was dating Chelsea Handler for a little while.
Yeah, Chelsea Handler.
She came clean about that.
Well, only woman you'll hear anything personal about me from the actual woman.
Right, it's not really you.
Right, and then I mean, if you have any interest in
or Vivica, you've said things about Vivica because she was stalking you. She climbed the gate to the fence. You had to get a restraining order.
When I'm made uncomfortable, I'll try to stop it. I'll try to, whatever it is.
Chelsea seems like her personality is better than her actual vagina, though.
Amazing
I love Chelsea.
personality.
I think she's.
Then there was Sierra.
Yeah,
as a matter of fact, you and Sierra are on the top of media takeout today.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, apparently you and Dwight Howard are arguing over her.
I haven't even had a conversation. Well, I did see him at the All-Star.
No, Dwight Howard.
Yeah, I went to go watch them play All-Star again. And that's Miami. They played in Miami. I watched them versus the Heat. It was the only time I've ever seen them in my life.
So you back with Sierra?
No, I don't have. Why you putting me back there? God damn you, envy.
Did she ever talk to you? Did she ever like, 50, what I can do for my career? My music's cold out here right now.
No, I didn't.
He got to stay out of that.
I don't have those
There's nothing to do with
conversations.
him. But you know what? She is saying that she is gonna, when she does this new album, kind of expose more of herself and maybe tell a little bit more because she's always been very closed off about her personal life.
I think it's too late, man.
And you know what that means? She even talking about Fifth.
No,
I'm getting that interview.
It'd be interesting. I think when an artist starts to be a little vulnerable, interesting things happen.
But, as a fan of your music, I'm probably gonna tell you something that you've never heard before. But I don't want the street content from 50 no more. Like I don't want the guns and the, whatever. Because I don't. Like, you're not living that life no more. I want more positions of power, like from the Massacre album.
And I got some of that. When you spend 26, 27 years of your life not having anything, and then you got 10 years of what people would refer to as the successful portion of your actual life. And I think when you've achieved your success, and I'm sure, you reflect on how far you've came. And you'll constantly make reference to the way things were because you'll see people start to develop that sense of entitlement that they develop around you, like what you should do for us, that energy, and you look back at where you come from, and you'd rather write the harder times because it resonates as something that's really real to you. That's like the woman from your past that before anything that went on that you was actually talking to, you kind of be like, well, I know her forever. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a friend that I knew from, never was intimate with the girl, like, but I talked to her like forever when I was real young. I ran into her like this week that passed, and I was like, come on, let's go. I picked her up, let's go shopping. It's just a part of my lifestyle now. Like and it was like, now I can afford to do it, so I'm just going, okay, cool. And you can look at how much money was spent and be like, wow, you spent that much money, and it's just from here to here.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like the things that happen in the environment, like in the neighborhood, they are in the same exact cycle. Like I come around now, they're there. Come around next time, they're on vacation. I mean, they back at the Pens. And then next album cycle, you back. What's up, baby? Good? Oh, everything good. What's going on with you?
It seems like you feel more comfortable with the street than you do the industry. Like how Jay can write about everything that's going on in the industry around him. It seems like you'd rather write the street life.
He got another, 16, 17 years of success?
Got you. I feel what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? It's another 7 or 8 years more of him being in a position that he's earning it from a legitimate perspective. And so that's a lot further away from what's actually going on right now in the psychology of the guy that's out there. And me, I like to write both. I like to write those things from there because that's what comes to me. Like I go back, I'm in my neighborhood during the period of me writing the record because I go, what worked for me? Like during the Massacre, the second album, the first song that I wrote was God Give Me Style, God Give Me Praise on that record. It's just the way I felt after if you asked me to wish for anything, I would just wish that record be a success in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
And after writing that, I told my grandma, I'm gonna do something different. You know what I'm saying, on this album. And she was like, don't forget why they liked you to begin with. If a guy comes out of nowhere, right? Sometimes they build you because you're gonna destroy yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because they build entertainers to destroy them for the sake of entertainment. So they'll fall in love with that song, with the Chief Keef song, because they're hoping that it actually destroys itself in front of them, so it could be the greatest show on earth.
Mm-hmm.
Like with all of that energy that's around me coming out in the very beginning, it's like you don't make it. You're not supposed to. Within the cycle, you see what everybody else is doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's from the environment. So if you come there, even if you keep your finger on the pulse of what's going on, and he stops by, you close enough associated to it to go down for what he did.
Mm.
If you just on the love, I see you and I'm like, yo, yeah. Because it was in my pocket. I gave you 5,000, and because of the circumstances you're under, you go buy 250 grams with it.
Mm-hmm.
They come back, tell us we both going to jail.
Right.
You funding this.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, no, I looked out for him because it was a few dollars I had in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just the adjustment, you got to be conscious of it. Like, it's or you go down because you come from it.
Right.
You know, and I think that there was good enough examples. Jam Master Jay got killed. There was no answers to why he got killed.
Mm-hmm.
When they don't have answers, they say, the body's on the street, they say, who's his friends, who's his enemies? And in that order, who's his friends so we can find out who's his enemies?
Mm.
And it gives them their leads in their investigation. So they go, oh, 50 Cent. And then when I pop up, I'm not an angel because you're at the 103rd precinct
Mm-hmm.
in the actual neighborhood. So with everything prior to the decision to make music resonates with them. And they go, yeah, and get shot 9 times and didn't tell us nothing. So ain't never been nobody picked up or nothing like that. So it could be somebody doing this to send him a message.
Mm-hmm.
And that energy goes out there. So they associate me and my activity and the things that I'm saying with the death of Jam Master Jay.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I got shot 9 times and everybody's still physically available. So they're going, this is great. Don't get up, don't go to the bathroom. They'll kill this fool in front of us. And we'll miss the good part.
Right.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And when you say the title of your record is Get Rich or Die Trying or In Process, they go, wow. I meant I'm not determined.
Right.
They meant, yeah, you gonna do that right in front of us. You know, and that's what made it the greatest show on earth. Like, every time you say it, like, when you say it's scary, that element, it's because it's real, it's really there. When you're successful, you shouldn't write about not actually having, because then I'm gonna tell you that the 99% of hip hop culture that's writing the highest level of living possible shouldn't be writing things that apply to my lifestyle.
That's true. 'Cause they I feel what you're saying. The ones that are actually talking about balling, they're lying.
Yeah, they're lying.
Yeah.
Your first song, you cashing out.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, your first fucking record, like, you out the
I got
gate
you.
like that. So now, in process, you look and you go, I understand that, because it's really, you got to see yourself in a situation to bring that energy, put that
Fake
in
it
the
till you make it.
universe.
Okay, so you're on the reverse. You're rich and you're really from the street, but now that I'm rich, I can't rap about
Being from the street.
Yeah,
Right.
I got
This is
you.
what I know.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even if I provide information from things that, because I've seen artists get lost in teaching people. KRS was my favorite, like my favorite artist, period, during The Bridge Is Over, and you can see the competitive, that energy, how aggressive that music was in the early stages, that with how it would resonate with me and the decisions that I made.
But then he got too
Music.
deep, and it's like, all right.
Because the teacher, he started
Right.
saying so much. Like, even all Southern-based music is representation of having fun or simplifying the message. You know what I'm saying? Because the cadence it's like, it's a bounce to it. They're gonna dance. Like, in New York, you'll get this. that nod,
Right.
and they'll leave and go, yo, I love him, man. That was fire.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna jump and shake bread and be with no clothes on, sweating. And
Right.
that's not gangsta out here.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? What we would say is gangsta, or it's a little more conscious.
Right. Now, what happened with the New Day joint? I heard that was your single at first,
Yeah.
and then Alicia and Swiss took it. And then y'all put assist and deceased and stopped it from going out, and then you put yours on it. Like, what was the situation with that
That's what
record?
happened, right? See, Dre had the record. That record was originally recorded for Detox,
Mhm.
and he sent the record. It had a chorus on it. It was written by Esther Dean.
Mhm.
She wrote a lot of hit records on the low, like
Mhm.
a lot of your favorite records. Yeah, I checked the credits, but she wrote this actual joint, and it was like darker, you know. And Dre was in love with it, the actual track, and he sent it to Alicia to perform on the joint with him. And Alicia had a vision that was more inspirational,
Mhm.
so she sent it back with the New Day energy on it. And he was like, I don't know. He played the old version, and was like, and it felt stupid because the drums was even harder than it is now. Like, and then when he played the Alicia version, I was like, that's a whole nother, energy. And I was like, he was unsure that it was the right thing for the actual Detox music, the other music that he had in the line.
Right.
And I was like, this is perfect for me because it fits into what, the project itself, like what it is. And he's like, all right, well, try it. So I wrote it. I wrote my portion of the actual record. And, Dre didn't ever do his or lay his vocals the entire time. So Alicia was unaware of the changing from Dre to 50 Cent. And then she get wind by executives in the building, no, that's 50's record now, and this and that. And there was no communication at that point. So the record was there. They had it, and they know, like it's a hit record.
Mhm.
It's performing now, like a hit record. So if you got it sitting there, Swiss is going, this is a hit. No. He went to work.
Throw it out, yeah.
He went to work. He had to reproduce. He produced the entire record. Like, even though the drums sound a little similar, it's a completely different track. Like, and it's what they went and worked on. He had these guys that did the keys on the record originally come do the keys, and like built a whole new song for her to do her version by herself of it, because he didn't really know if it was actually going to be used
Right.
at that point. And then when they contacted him, when the song came out, the fire alarm went off because they was like, wait, that was the 50 Cent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then Jimmy and them responded to it, and they got it going. And the last thing you're going to do is take a record or idea out of a Dre session.
Absolutely.
Because, that, let's just say he receives the credit for the success of Death Row,
Mhm.
then the credit of the success of Eminem,
Mhm.
then the credit of the success of 50 Cent, because he offered them the club joint. So there's a lot of pieces to it. And even myself, I go like this, yo, would you be exactly where you are if you didn't have exactly what you had
And the club was
to
a
get
beast.
there? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Right.
you go, that's what, when you say him working with Rick Ross and other artists, I go, he's looking for something.
Right.
He's fishing. And if he finds it there, then,
The whole thing with Dre is you could tell who writes Dre's records.
oh, you saying who actually
Who
did it?
actually writes it? Because, I mean,
Are you saying Dr. Dre doesn't write?
I'm not saying. I don't think he writes all
I don't
his
think
stuff.
Dr. Dre even pretends like he writes
Yeah, I don't
his
think
own
so.
records.
I think we all know.
I think
You
that's
waiting for Dre to go, that was the only thing that was missing on that Dre verse. Just, like, you could tell it was a Ross cadence. You know what I mean? Which makes Dre sound a little funny.
When you got, artists, some of them have habits and they're not making adjustments because they're not really, it's the difference between having a talented artist and a ghostwriter.
Mm.
The ghostwriter, you can't tell if Dean wrote it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But if like the habits of the actual, you hear it and you go, okay, he wrote him a verse. It was, if he said it, you would have liked it a little more because you felt like you was listening to him.
Right.
Yeah, what was it Zoe?
Mm-hmm.
The Gorilla Zoe?
Gorilla Zoe, yeah.
Oh, Gorilla Black, was it?
Oh, Gorilla Black.
Black, yeah,
That's
yeah,
when
yeah.
it sound like Biggie.
Biggie.
Yeah, right. So imagine if Big was here at this point and not actually write music.
Mm-hmm.
His music influenced so many other writers that
There'd be no Shine,
they
no
do
Gorilla
it.
Black.
Yeah, all those guys were like trying to fill a void for us. You know what I'm saying? And because it sounded like Big, I'd be like, yo, that part of the old school hip hop thing that where you had to develop your own style or have your own niche is where I go. I don't know about that, but then it sounded like Big, so it's like, how is it not good? You know what I'm saying? And looking at both hands on both sides of the coin, and then think about this: if you say it's no good because it sounds like Big, then you saying what sounds like Big is no good, and then being excited at the next Biggie track that come out.
Right.
You know, you study 40 Laws of Power. You know, isolation is dangerous. You think you've isolated yourself from the rest of hip hop by like? Cause you had a lot of beefs.
But what I did is I've engaged with the youth, the younger hip hop artists. Like I've done Buzzing with Man, Tootin' Booted with YG, Down on Me with Jeremiah. You know, I've worked with Q, Schoolboy Q. Like the new guys, I went and touched bases with them. See, what my isolation happened during the actual success of my projects. In the beginning, is because New York City, all major record companies have office spaces, employees, and representation of their brands here. And I'm from New York, and there was no deal that made sense in New York for me. I had to get the attention of Dre in Los Angeles and M in Detroit to make the deal that was the best possible deal for me. And you kind of look at it and you go, why wasn't it the coolest thing to do? It's because it was that thing that they felt like was a little bit real. Like the real, like he really in the middle of that. Like in these situations, they go, oh no. I thought that's what you were supposed to be. You said you like it when it feels real.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? So for me, it was an opportunity to make it and do different things. Like even on the hustling end, I don't understand how they don't have the same regimen of the get up, get out and go or that. The entrepreneurial spirit lives within the corner. Those brothers on the corner have the entrepreneurial spirit also. You see what I'm saying? And they'll say with black on black crime, they'll point out those guys or they'll say those guys are animals, right? But if you said that he was able to develop an operation and made $3 and $4 million at different points, it would mean that he'd have to be pretty organized to organize a bunch of animals, right? But when I say organized crime, the image of white Italian American will pop in your head, because if you have to point to a criminal, even a criminal, and say he's intelligent, you point to a white person, because the triads are killing the triads. The Russians are killing the Russians as far as the organized crime are concerned. Why is black on black crime pointed out like it's a issue that doesn't exist in every other culture?
Now, we're talking to 50 Cent. You mentioned something in the press the other day about squashing beef with Fat Joe.
You know what?
I think that came from a record that he said. I think the record that it was a dedication to Chris Lighty, and he says you couldn't stop the Fat Joe, the 50 Cent beef, even if you tried. And I think you said you would never squash that beef.
Well, I've never squashed beef.
You and the Locks.
Well,
that was
even
squashed.
in that, we didn't have to have that conversation that says, yo, ain't no problems, or none of that. It was in passing. It was like, he would find out that I'm not going to sleep and waking up with you on my mind. You know what I'm saying? I'm not passionate about that actual thing. And then when it makes sense, the business situations came. And them not being afraid, they sent something. Jada sent the record. You know what I'm saying? And the Dump record, we ended up doing that. It just made sense. The song was good. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. You know, and in Joe in them cases, like, you gotta really look back at it and say, where does this beef start from? Like, what happened?
Ja Rule, New York.
You.
Ja Rule, New York.
You, Fifth.
It's really, check this out. It's really by way of his relationship with Irv.
Right.
That too.
And feeling like that loyalty to that clique because of Ashanti's record.
What's Love? Yeah.
And that's where that actual stems from. But
so like he put himself in it.
Right. And then it's like you watch, how long do you watch someone convey that energy that they actually wish you weren't where you are?
You and Ja had the last real issue in hip hop. Like everything else has been play. Like that was a real issue.
Thing. And then you go when you go through that experience, you know that there ain't no way you squashing that. Like you
Right.
just go nah. Like, and then I don't go and say, yo, you know what? Let's just be friends. See, because the guy in the schoolyard doesn't want to fight always leaves with a black eye.
Mhm.
The moment that you show people that you're not willing to fight, they want to fight.
Right. It's like, we watched what you did with the whole Ja Rule situation,
Right.
where you basically stepped on him until he couldn't breathe anymore,
Well,
and then when he couldn't breathe, you just kept your foot there.
when
Now, do you ever get
destroy,
nervous?
you're supposed to destroy completely.
Right, but do you ever get nervous that now he has nothing to lose?
You change the feelings.
Mm.
Do you want to feel like you're afraid all the time, or do you start to become the aggressor?
Mm-hmm.
And you start saying, you know what? You ain't got to find me because I'm looking for you. And then it changes everything. Because at that point, I'm the person looking for you. Now, you don't give me all the controls because I got the buttons. I could just push them.
Now you got rid of all your tattoos.
Yeah.
Why? And was that painful? And what was the process?
It was actually a communication between me and Robert.
Green?
Yeah.
Okay.
From 48 Laws of Power.
Mhm.
Because when he talked about, we were sitting together and I was saying, with the process within entertainment, music, is developing a way to recreate yourself.
Mhm.
And it evolved, and I realized how much those tattoos resonated to the image of 50 Cent at that point. Like, some of these guys went so far with it that there's no turning back.
Mhm.
It's in their face, it's in neck, everywhere you can think, and I just was like, it matched what happens next. Anything that happens too fast is no good.
Mhm.
It doesn't feel real, or you may not stay exactly where you are. It's like with Mace,
Mhm.
that situation. Like, even I believe in God. I'm just not that in the church every Sunday guy. Our relationship is different. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother is in the church every Sunday.
right.
Like, this is a different thing. Like, and they do everything in regimen. When you speak about African Americans, everyone that you would say is someone is easily recognized as a leader, they all have something spiritual in common, like Reverend Al Sharpton, or your Reverend Jesse Jackson, or your Minister Louis Farrakhan, or even further back in history, Reverend Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. They all spoke through religion to the masses, because those are the vices. On the new record, New Day, I say you can hit your knees on the church floor and pray get better, or push the door on the liquor store and see where it gets you, because people either medicate themselves in a different way and drink or use something that mellows them out, and they don't have to deal with the reality of the
Right.
situation momentarily, or they pray that it changes. Like, even the statement I made in the actual Oprah Winfrey interview, I said pray or worry, don't do both.
So why
Did what
did
I
you do
had
that
to do.
interview with Oprah? Oprah
Why?
was one that hated hip hop music,
Yeah.
hated your
That's a
first
stupid
album,
question. Why wouldn't you do an
never
interview with Oprah?
supported your first album,
Right.
never
It's Oprah.
supported the type of music that got you out of what you wanted to go out of. And it seems like when her career started to go down, then it was like, well, let me reach out to.
Could you please
Jay-Z.
stop telling them there's no such thing as
Reach
Oprah's
out to
career
them.
going
Yeah.
down?
See, look. Why it's a transitional period. We'll call it that. instead
Okay,
of going
transitional
down.
period. We'll call
Because
it
saying going down when you already
billionaire.
billionaire.
Yeah,
Right, she started doing a new venture. She started her own network.
Right.
And that's going to take some time to build up. It's not going to just
Okay, you
happen
can say
overnight.
transitional period. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But
Fif.
and there's the platform is an A-list platform.
Mhm.
So to not have the ability to be there meant you were less than A-list.
Right.
So you could say, what, you the roof for the B-list? I don't want to be that. So I said, if I can't be your friend, at least let's be enemies, so we can coexist.
Mhm.
So my audience doesn't feel like I'm not there because you won't have me. They'll feel like I'm not there because I don't want to be.
Right.
Like, I don't like you, and it's cool, it's fine, because at that point, all I'm alienating is my audience's parents.
Mhm.
Of course, when the ability to do it is there, you go, yeah, without compromise, because the music is still the same music.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And she'll her views are her views. You say in words, she goes, let's agree to disagree.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not,
Mhm.
she just doesn't want to hear it. She knows where it originated. And from an artist perspective, I apologize, but from an artist perspective, when you when you're painting a picture, you have to use the colors.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you want it to feel the way things feel in the environment, you got to use the slang, the terminologies that apply.
All right. Well, 50 Cent is here. We appreciate you stopping
We
through.
hate to keep you here so long, but we got 10 years of questions.
Yeah, 10 years of questions. We don't know when you're gonna see
If
you
Nelson
again.
would bring you by more often, it wouldn't be this long. You
Yeah,
know?
we got to televise this kind of stuff. This is
Absolutely.
when you make really good interviews. This is when you just have conversations.
Mhm.
You know how when you watch people and you see them, they're studying. That's a habit too. You see how I've done that?
Mhm.
But when you see them stuttering or they can't actually articulate themselves in ways, because they feel like it's uncomfortable.
Right.
You know, you get the things out of people when they relax. And yeah, y'all did a good job at that this morning.
And we didn't have to give you no drinks.
50 doesn't drink.
I forgot.
He drinks
Yeah.
Street King only.
Street King. It's the Breakfast Club on Power 105.1. It's 50.